Morning, everybody. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Mike Iarardi, and I'm currently serving as the chairman of the Board of Deacons. The Stewardship Committee has asked me to say a few words to you on this, our Stewardship Sunday. I was born and raised Roman Catholic, regular attendee at Sunday Masses and CCD classes, served as an altar boy, and then later as a Eucharistic minister. I didn't realize it at the time, but I know now in retrospect that despite all that involvement, I was still looking for a better relationship with my God. It wasn't until our kids were old enough to attend Sunday school that Janet and I realized that they were not getting very much out of their Catholic religious experience. Both of them overwhelmingly preferred to attend services here at the Congregational Church of Topsfield. And the rest, as they say, is history, because we do what's best for our kids. Becoming members of this church has proven to be the right decision for our family ever since that time. For me personally, it was primarily the quality of people here and the mutual caring evident that drew me in. However, the other thing that struck me was the worship service experience. There's no repeating of the same prayers here week after week. There's less ritual, and there's more pertinence to my daily life. The music is varied and spiritual and greatly enhances the worship experience. It is through all these things and much more that I feel like I now have a deeper, more personal relationship with my God. I guess then it's no coincidence that I found myself chairman of the Board of Deacons, as this is the board entrusted with establishing and maintaining that worship experience. So what do the deacons do here at the Congregational Church of Topsfield? Do we do dishes? In the book of Acts in the New Testament, we're introduced to this term in chapter 6, verse 3. Friends, select from among yourselves 7 men of good standing, full of the Spirit and wisdom, who we may appoint to this task of taking food to the widows. I also find it interesting that there are 7 members of the Board of Deacons right now, coincidentally. According to Reverend Martin Copenhaver, the deacons in most UCC churches have bylaws which provide a definition that charges this board with, quote, the spiritual leadership of the church. This is certainly true here at CCT, as our bylaws description states, and I quote, the primary duty of the Board of Deacons shall be to promote the spiritual life of the congregation and to be responsible for keeping the congregation faithful to the gospel of Jesus Christ in its worship and service to the greater community. Reverend Copenhaver further states that as a member of the Deacons Board at one of the churches he served, he said they spent too much of their time washing dishes and delivering food to the homebound. Another deacon complained, quote, I feel like a glorified butler. Thankfully, there are several other boards and committees here at CCOT who take care of some of those many other duties, doing wonderful work, feeding the homebound, serving dinners to the homeless, and planning social events. So what do the deacons do at our church? Like most churches, the deacons here are involved with spiritual leadership as we focus on worship services. The best way to look at this definition is to define it using 3 words: support, advocacy, and education. Within this framework, the board works with the pastoral staff, the music staff, and spiritual education. The deacons support the pastoral staff with their thoughts, plans, and scheduling of the various spiritual and special programs. The members of this board also support the pastors in the development of new spiritual programs that will benefit us all. The deacons advocate for programs and activities that pertain to the worship on Sunday mornings, as well as other weekly programs that occur throughout the church year. The deacons sponsor Sunday morning education programs after worship services. These programs enhance our understanding of the pastor's sermon and how we can put his or her thoughts to work in our daily lives. Social justice issues that pertain to our faith understanding are offered throughout the church year. Within our areas of responsibilities, there are members of committees and teams of other volunteers who make sure that the sanctuary is clean, safe, and comfortable. The altar is set with the proper articles of our faith. The choirs and instruments are ready to enhance our worship experience. The audiovisual systems are working properly. Fresh flowers have been ordered and displayed and are then later distributed to those in our congregation who need emotional support. We also ensure that communion is prepared and distributed appropriately, including to those who are homebound. We represent the Altar Guild, the Adult Education Committee, the AV team, the Flower team, the Library Committee, the Music Committee, the Parish Care team, among others. All the deacons have contributed their time, talent, and treasure to the Stewardship Drive, and we are thankful for the help and love the congregation provides to us and our church family. Yes, as deacons, we do wash dishes, as so many of you also do at some point during the church year, but we do so much more. All these things we do require your financial support to accomplish. For those of you that have already pledged, we thank you wholeheartedly, providing the means for us to do what we do. For those of you who have yet to pledge, what are you waiting for? This is the day. In case you did lose or forget your pledge card, there are a few scattered in the pews. If there isn't one in your pew, the ushers also have some, so please, the fact that there isn't a card available is not an excuse. We humbly ask that you search your heart, consider why it is that you came here to the Congregational Church of Topsfield to worship, and recognize that those things cost us money to provide. So please be as generous as possible. Thank you, and may God bless you.